Okay, so in the last episode, we got everything looking really nice under the hood, but then we closed the hood and it's still an old OBS. So thanks to Complete Performance, they hooked us up with LED headlights, nice new lenses as the old ones were falling apart. Some really nice taillights, and we can start getting the outside of this truck looking as good as the inside. Here we go. Loose ends that need to be taken care of, and then we're bolting it down for the very last time on the frame. So put that on, put the radiator back on with the new fan and see if it all fits. We want good headlights so we can see far. Put the box back on again. It's gonna take me a while to wire the truck. I'm putting it together without wiring it. Okay, we bought this truck from California a number of years ago now, 3 I think. We've done a pile of work to it, and we really like the original paint of the truck in the fact that if any truck is painted in our area, it's because they're hiding rust. Thankfully to these videos, we can know that the truck is super clean, but it does need some work. So once we start really getting into the engine, and then it's like, oh, this is a little loose, and you can see the paint's off on the fenders here, and the clear coat's cracking a bit, and there's a dent here, and there's this little dent here. I said I wasn't ever gonna paint things again, and that's not in the works for this truck. As you can see, the cab over's painted behind this thing. You'll have to watch that video on the other channel. We're making things pretty under the hood and painting intake pipes and stuff like that, fully knowing that when we drive it, it's just gonna get dusty and we're gonna leak oil somewhere, leak fuel somewhere, and it's gonna get completely coated. And we're okay with that. We might paint the truck later. That might be down the road. We might do a nice outside job to it. It's not in the work right now. This is our tow hauler. We're gonna put thousands of miles on this thing. Fingers crossed. We do want it to look good, and we want good headlights so we can see far, but it's not gonna be a SEMA truck by any means. So if you want to change the lights, you gotta pull your bezel off. There's just a couple nuts on the back here. This one's spun out of the actual turn signal light. 2 bolts on the top, and then there might be, and then there's one down here. That's this tab, which it's kind of tricky to get at. There's a couple bolts top and bottom here on both sides, 4 screws along the top, and then one in the middle. There's not much that holds the grill on, so we pull that off. Now, I had to modify this slightly. Yours won't look exactly like this. Ours has some weight reduction. So the lights have 3 of these clips. I've already pulled a bunch of them off, but just, you gotta kind of take snap ring pliers and pull these clips apart. They'll be in these grooves, and then you gotta kind of wiggle and pull that clip out, and that'll allow the adjuster to pop out. You can save them if you want, but they're brittle. I was actually missing one of these already, but your lights from Complete Performance come with all new plastics. All right, so we went with the black look. I got the theme going of black and white and figured that matches really good. We're gonna leave the plastic on until the very end, but it comes with LED bulbs too. So all we really need to do is put this housing into our grill, and then the other lights get attached to the chrome piece. Okay, basically just take the old stuff off and replace it with the really nice new stuff. These are for sale on eBay, $1,000. These actually don't look too bad. Scratches on them, might save these. If you want this headlight, go to Tuesdays. I'll drop it off. There's a truck there. I'll put it in the front seat. You can have it. Oh, that can't tell me that doesn't look good. If it wasn't for the other side. I think that's it. Sexy. That one was a pain to get in, but at least the hole lines up nice. Man, that looks so good. You guys are gonna wanna take these off. I'm gonna leave them on because it's gonna be a bit before we wire them yet. The issue is that you guys, if you're putting these in your OBS, you just unplug the bulb, plug it back in again. We are using the wiring harness off the 2010, so I have to make the light bulb sockets work, take the sockets off from the 2010 and put the 93 on there because the outside lights are going to be the same, but the wiring is not. So I'm going to leave these on so that we don't get dust and dirt and everything inside, because we will cover all the wiring in the wiring video. For now, we're just going to pop these on because we can get out the bulbs from behind. So. Tight. Go. One other thing, I still haven't got them crimped yet because I started with a 45 and a straight. Now I'm on to 290s. This is the intake for the air compressor. So I was going to put the fitting behind the grid heater, but then I didn't into the manifold, but I thought maybe I want it before the intake heater so it doesn't rob the engine of hot air as I'm trying to start it. So this gives the compressor filtered air ready to go into our system. The only issue is that I have seen it where the compressor takes a dump and you lose all boost. We don't necessarily need a compressor. Like when you've got a transport truck, it's not a bad thing because when you're losing air, your engine stops working properly. Thing is, we don't really need air. We don't need the airbags. We don't need a tank full of air. So if this compressor goes, then we lose boost. But I will throw a cap in there. And we can always cap this if we find it's a super easy fix. You just pop the hose off, put a cap on. If it runs better, there's your issue. Your compressor's took a dump. Time to get a new compressor. So that's one downside to feeding your compressor off of your intake. But whatever, we'll worry. That's future Rich's problem. But yeah, we'll walk back in this video. It's like he did think about that before, but he did spend 6 hours by the side of the road trying to diagnose why his truck's running like ass. Okay, so I measured the sensors and I thought it was an M18 by 1.5. Definitely 1.5 thread. I just didn't have anything to measure the width. So I ordered an M18 tap and practice drilled a hole to make sure it was right. And of course, it must be an M19. But luckily it came with a die as well. So I cut the threads off in the lathe and put new threads on. And now this sensor identifies as an M18 by 1.5. Luckily I had 2, so I did 2 right away. Throw the other one in the glove box. If whatever goes, we got one ready to go. I'll pull the manifold off, drill a hole, and tap it, and paint it. Here we go. Okay, so we got the manifold on. I gotta put the gasket in behind it and bolt it down, and then we can put the charge pipes on, clean them one last time, put them on for the last time. We're gonna start working on some power steering lines. Here we go. Okay, so we've got the power steering pump. So this is going to go to the reservoir. It's going to feed the pump. It's going to come out of the pump, go into the hydro boost, come out of the hydro boost, go into the steering, and then out of the steering into the power steering cooler, and then out of the power steering cooler back into the reservoir. This is actually the hydraulic pump here off of the school bus, and this is a British O-ring boss to a 37-degree JIC. Brent at V&R is looking for a 90-degree for me. Then I don't need to modify the frame at all, because that kind of sucks. I really don't want to do that.
Yeah, so that's British.
Yeah, that's all I mean.
Does that work?
Yeah, you have it in stock. Like, that's what I asked you at 90. Why?
Because it's different thread. Like they're just different thread sizes.
Oh yeah?
The British ones are like more like American threads, whereas the metric are just a little bit different. But if it works,
I think it works. Yeah, because I can't spin it because it'll hit the frame, but I got the cap off, so that should work. Yeah, that's beauty.
Does it?
Yeah. It's not gonna seal it, right? So I need a smaller steel washer there.
Get it in
So see this collar?
Yeah.
That fits inside this groove.
Oh, okay. Well, here, wait.
It's that, or I shave this lip off. What's the biggest fitting you can get into that port O-ring?
It's O-ring boss?
Yeah. Yeah, O-ring boss. That's tight?
Yeah.
Wanna go in? Okay, so that's a 10?
Yep.
Okay, so then I just need
10, 12?
10, 12, yeah.
JIC. Bingo.
Okay.
Cool.
For that fitting to fit into there, I just had to shave the edge of the O-ring off. So it sits inside that groove and then pushes that O-ring into that taper, and then she'll seal right up. No worries. Wonderful. As long as the nut doesn't hit. Might have to stick a washer in behind there. That's all good. So we got our power steering lines figured out. I think we'll know for sure tomorrow. We got our steering shaft figured out from Borgeson. So yeah, pull that off and we'll get to that tomorrow. Another big step done. And then I think it's just wiring. So we'll mount a couple of the canisters. The bus has a really nice coolant overflow as well. So we'll tie that into the system with the rad cap, probably put that up at the front, moving the batteries to the back. So we've got lots of room for inventory in the front here. So it's coming together really nice. Here we go. Okay, we got pretty well everything buttoned up on the bottom here. I bent up the original fuel line, which is nice stainless steel, really hard to bend, but that will connect the back tank to the front tank. I did that with my new tube bender from Princess Auto. We'll secure those down and connect the two pipes together, and then we're all set to put the box back on again. Now I'd like to protect the box the same way I did the frame. I'll paint it and do the Rust-Oleum undercoating on it, because as you can see, it is in perfect shape. The issue is that V&R has a line on a brand new 5th wheel hitch that I'd like to install. So more than likely we're gonna end up pulling this box back off again anyway, and cutting what we need to in the box to make that 5th wheel work. So I don't want to mess around with the undercoating and that when we do that. So not that we have a 5th wheel right now, but more than likely we will. Might as well. I mean, we got onboard air and everything else. So for now, we'll put the box back on again. We'll use it as a truck because it's summer now and I don't have to worry about the salt. Bolt it back down, and you know what? Then it almost looked like a truck again. Here we go. Second last time going down with a certified Canadian 1.5-inch hockey puck body lift. Okay, so we got final assembly going on inside the truck. I figure while we're doing that, might as well clean each part as we put them in, right? So this is Jesse from Bender's Mobile Detailing.
Yeah, the business is based out of New Hamburg, Waterloo region.
And you do inside and outside?
Yeah, inside, outside cleaning. Yeah, we're fully mobile service, so come to wherever the customer is.
That's good, because this thing is disgusting. Okay, so this is the true testament of what you can do. I didn't do that, I pulled the carpet out, but I needed to get rid of the grease, the rust, the dirt. I needed to bring back the color where the foot traffic was.
Of course.
Like this is the original, obviously, where the seats are, so I need you to bring this color to look like that. If you maybe cut a strip out and sew it in. I don't know what you're gonna do, but we'll see how you make out.
If I get it to come out good, it'll go right on my website.
Yeah, there you go.
Not perfect, but it's pretty good. So.
Yeah, okay, we'll give it a minute outside and then we'll throw it inside the truck. I got some other stuff to keep busy.
Sounds good. All the like grease or whatever it was came out good.
It was
more of the rust that
I don't understand how Jose got it that dirty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clearly wasn't that.
No, I'm really good with stuff. I'm really good at keeping things clean. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'll throw some weather techs in there and
Oh yeah.
should be brand new.
Yep.
Awesome, thanks man.
No problem.
Okay, so we got the HVAC cleaned off and ready to go back in again. We got all our sound deadening in there, up against the firewall, on the inside, outside. And I was actually looking for that plate right there. And when I cleaned the shop, I was able to find that. And now we can keep going on the F350. So, there are a couple things I got to think about. I had to pull the wiring harness out of that F550 yet. That connects to this computer, I think. This little guy, which goes in the driver's side here, or the passenger side here. So we'll put the HVAC in, see what kind of room we've got, and then run that wiring harness. Things that keep me up at night is that stupid door buzzer. I'm pretty sure it's in the head unit, which we've taken out now because we're running the Holly. The gauge cluster there, and that would be good because if there's one thing I hate about Fords, it's their stupid door chimes. The old style and the new style. I hate the fact that you have to pull the key all the way out to make it shut up. So we don't want to deal with any of that. Whether I need to have the sensors in it for the seat belt, I don't think so. I think when we start the truck we won't hear anything because yeah, you guys know better than me. You guys can probably verify that. But yeah, HVAC, and then we'll carry on. Here we go. So a big shout out to White Rose Motors who actually donated a used tilt column for a Super Duty. So that helps us out a pile. We managed to get the right steering wheel for it. Just need a shifter cable for it yet because I got damaged somewhere between taking the truck apart and now. So can't actually shift the transmission. I'm gonna lean through this hole, maybe with a string and do it, but we'll get the proper shifter for it. We also found the right steering wheel for it, so that's awesome. We got everything, we're all set. So we'll install this, get the steering hooked up. So there's nothing I can do, I gotta cut this little corner out. I swear if I went to school to be a surgeon, I would show up to the operating room with one of these grinders.
Don't use it, just hang it up next to the other two.
There, now I just need to take this cloth and glue it like that. actually won't work too bad with the buttons right there. I'm pretty happy with that actually. So you can fiberglass that in and then paint it. We'll get it done nicely to match once we fiberglass this little piece in. Nice. Last time the dash moved a hair, it's not moving now. We're golden. It's gonna take me a while to wire the truck. I'm putting it together without wiring it. We've got a keyless start, so we'll show you guys how to install that. So it'll be push button rather than the key. So we'll have to fabricate our own little. I want to delete this and make that look good. Aaron was doing all the behind the scenes. We ended up buying a new steering wheel from Ford, I think, and very hard to track down. And then they make a gazillion different colors too. So there are like F-Low gray and LS gray stone. So you can work off that, but does this match that? And then we bought this separate, so that doesn't match the sides. So we got covers for that. And then we bought the console, which is off of like a 2018. The steering column's 2012. The dash is 2008. The airbag we had to get from Ford only to match the steering wheel, and it's expensive and they won't deliver it or mail it, so Aaron understands what ordering parts is like now. Okay, so the dash is 2008 or 10. The console is 2018, but you can, Aaron will put up a link, whereas you just bolt this right over top. Otherwise that wouldn't be there. You put this there, and then your console kind of like goes into those mounts, and that secures that to the dash. So pretty slick. I'll screw that in place and then put all those pieces back on again, and then we can throw the console in. Here we go. It's a nice feeling to actually see the truck back together again now. It is SEMA ready because we're missing a shifter cable, so we can't drive it, and I do have to wire it yet, which is still going to take like a week. But thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, no problem.
I'm gonna get it dirty again. He's gonna work on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Jesse's gonna meet us at the show. He's gonna clean the K100 and then kind of just touch this thing up again. But if you want to see it, we're at the show. But that's about as far as we're gonna go on the F350 right now. I feel confident enough in the truck that it's a truck.
Oh, yeah.
So still needs to run, move, and drive, but we're getting that much closer. So. Alright guys, thanks. I'm tired. I gotta keep working. I gotta put the front bumper on. You'll see that at the show. And then back on the K100 to get that running and moving so I can pull in the trailer. So, a lot of late nights. Here we go.